Hi everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove, and I wanted to show you today how I make these little recycled decorations for a Christmas tree. You can use them, customize them and use them as gift tags, but they're all about recycling bits and pieces around your house that you've maybe collected. This is paper, this is like a broken chain, little bits and pieces of broken bracelets, some strings, some twine, whatever you have, and just recycling into something fun and pretty. And I really love recycling these, and regifting recycled material I think is really fun. Like this one, for example, is an old earring that I used to wear a very long time ago when I was much younger and could get away with this look. Not so much anymore. So, but I held on to it, and I'm now reusing it as a Christmas tree ornament or a gift tag. I love to use papers that I have. So this is like an old grocery bag that I had, and some old scrapbook paper and some beads. This is an old piece of a bracelet. So lots of fun. And again, you can buy things brand new, of course, but there's nothing more fun than taking something that's broken and recycling it. I just love that. So they make a really cute little gift tag. So here's a little example on a parcel here. And then that person can take them and hang them on their tree. And here's a little reindeer. So you can customize them by writing names. You can write first baby, baby's first Christmas, anything you want. So the possibilities just keep going and going, because you're always constantly finding bits and pieces of old costume jewelry. And this is a great way to recycle that. So you do need a few tools. Obviously, you're going to need some pliers, flat nose pliers and round nose pliers. You're going to need some paper. You're going to need some glue. But I'm going to walk you through. So I'm just going to move these guys out of the way for a second. And I was busy making these stars. And you can make several all at once. And I'm going to show you how I did it. So I have a star punch that I use. And basically you just punch out whatever paper you've got. You can use old book pages. I've made a garland out of old book pages. I'm getting a little off track, but I'll show you really quick. So the book page garland is another way of using these punches, but we won't get into that. But what I'm saying is you can use book pages for this too. So even if you don't have fancy leftover scrapbook paper, any paper will do. So I am going to glue these two stars together. Now, if you're smart, you would have glued your two pages together first and then punched out the star. But I'm not that smart till after the fact. So I am now taking the extra step of having to glue these individual stars together. But that's okay. And I'm going to take a hole punch. I have this gator guy that I have, but any hole punch will do. I'm going to line it up at the top of the star and one at the bottom. I've got my little hole punches. And I also have these little grommets that I use. They're kind of like these little paper rivets. Now, if you don't have these, or you don't have fancy tools, I mean, I have been collecting tools for a long time. But if you don't have that sort of thing, just use glue a couple of extra pieces of paper together, and that will reinforce it. So the only reason I'm really using these is to hold the weight of the jewelry, because if it's just a thin piece of paper, all that work you're gonna do, your pieces won't last long, because you can imagine how heavy these beads get and how much pull they endure. So you want your paper to be able to handle that. I got these really dirt cheap, but like I said, you can just glue extra stars together just to make the paper thicker. All right, so I squeeze those, put these guys away. And then I like to age my star by rubbing some vintage photo distress oxide and this little doohickey rubber here that smooths it out. Just kind of gives it that bit of a vintage vibe, which is the kind of look I like. I like that old world Christmas look. And you can do these in any color. I mean, you can do them in any color that matches your decor. And you can use these all year round too. I mean, you don't have to make them Christmassy. You can make them kind of a boho thing. I have one here with like a shell on it. So, I mean, how cute is that? You can use that anywhere, on any time for a gift. So there, you've created your star. It's that simple. So we're going to use one of these guys right now, and we're going to decorate them. So let's see what we want. I think we'll start with the top. So we will find some scraps. So as you can see, I keep all my scraps. These are all the little bits and pieces I get from I don't know, off sweaters and all over the place. I try to stay organized and keep things in little sections, but I'm not that organized. But if you can't stay organized, it's amazing what you can recycle and upcycle, and I just love that. There's nothing nicer than a recycled present with your creative spin on it, in my personal opinion. So we got a little string tied on. So I want to put maybe a fancy little, maybe something like this. So this was a part of a bracelet, and I think the beads came out from the end here. So I reuse these pieces, and I just sort them. I'll pull it out if I can, but just in like a fishing tackle box. You guys see that? So I have all my stuff thrown in there. And again, not organized. I wish I was. I probably would be twice as productive. But it's just not in my nature. I'm not an organized person. There we go. I just pull that down. Now I have a cute little embellishment. And I mean, you can even thread like another bead on there if you wanted. Just throw a bead on there on top, but I'm just going to tie a knot here. And that's the hanger. To hang it on a tree, to hang it on a present, whatever you want. So there's the top. Hope you guys can see everything. I've got lots of light shining. I'm trying to get rid of the shadowing, but it's tricky. All right, so let's embellish the bottom. So I have a little collection of beads here. I think we'll use, I really love these guys. It came off I think it also came off a necklace. And maybe, let's do Christmas. So I have this little snowflake ornament. I did a little class with kids on how to make little charm bracelets. So I have a couple left. So you will, of course, need it when you cut apart a bracelet or a necklace. You will cut apart the pieces that hold it together, whether it's wire or these little posts. So I do buy these. You can get them pretty cheap at Michael's for a pack, and they go quite a long way. So that you can get a post with a loop, or you can get a post with just the end. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. So in this case, we're going to use the loop because I want this guy to dangle. So I'm going to use these jump rings, and you'll see they're all different colors because, again, they are recycled off other jewelry, and that's okay. So I'm going to put a jump thing through here, and I have dye on my fingers. And where'd my little, right in front of my face. And I'm going to put it through the eye here, and then I'm going to close that up. Okay, so now that is dangling. Make sure it's closed. You don't want to lose them. And now I have my little dangler. So I want to use these guys, and I know I had taken off a couple of these caps off another necklace. So I'm going to put that on, thread that on, and I'm going to thread this on, and one more cap, because I like the caps. I find they kind of give it a little bit of a vintage feel, which I really like. So I've got that. What else? I've got this gold bead. Do we like that? Sure. And maybe a little silver bead. Do you have any bling? Sometimes bling's nice. Oh, here's a nice one. Let's try that. This came off a really fancy, super cheap bracelet from, I think, Value Village. It was like $2. And then maybe a silver one now. I'll eliminate the gold and just put this pretty copper one on. See how we like that. That looks good. So now we will take our flat nose pliers, and what I do is I go right up against the top of the bead and make sure it's tight against the base, and I fold it over. Okay, and then I'll cut the excess off. So what my rule of thumb is, the width of my finger is what I use. And I'll use the cutters and I'll cut that off. And then I use my cheapy little needle nose pliers and I'll take the end and I'll roll it back. And I'll keep rolling and I'll try and turn it so you can see it. And I roll it until the point where it feeds back to itself so the loop is closed. All right, and then I've created my little dangle. So now I need to attach it. So we can do anything we want. We can use another jump ring here, which is probably what we'll do. I mean, you can use some scrap chain and add chains to it. I mean, possibilities are endless, whatever you've got on hand. And what I love is the different elements. So you can use like rope, metal, paper, and you're combining all these natural elements together. And I just love that. I love that vibe. And who doesn't love a handmade little gift like this for Christmas? Especially if you put their name on it, or if it's a, you know, baby's first Christmas. And it's this beautiful little handmade recycled piece. And just make sure that loop's closed. And there we go. Easy peasy. So there's our decorative hanger. Isn't that cute? And it's simple. And you can just assembly line yourself and just keep making them. And I was even thinking, you know, with that chain, you could create a couple, you know, have a run of chain and do like a, I'm getting ahead of myself now, but you see the creative flow just keeps going every time you play with something, and just have this garland that hangs, and you could even hang that right on the tree, and a whole garland of these would be even more pretty. So there you go. I hope that gave you some ideas. I hope you like that little project. I hope it gives you, you know, when you've got some stuff kicking around that you're not sure what to do with, that you keep it, and just keep it in a little simple little storage box like this, where you keep all your little bits and bobs and break it out when you need it. So if you like that project and you want to see more, hit the notification button. If you subscribe to the channel, and visit me again for some more ideas. We'll be trying to upload a couple of Christmas videos a week to give you some inspiration. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.